Let's go to John in Fort Mill, South Carolina. What's up, John?
Hey, John, how you doing?
I'm good, my brother. How are you?
I'm doing very well. I love listening to your show.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. What's up?
So, I've been married for about 6 to 7 years. And when I got married, we were on the same path of having kids. And about 1.5 to 2 years ago, my wife has come to me and says that she does not want kids. And I have been struggling with, when that came up, I was like, well, do I really want kids? And so I questioned whether I want kids. And recently I've determined that I do want kids. So I'm at a crutch of whether I choose kids or whether I choose my wife. And I don't know what direction and kind of how to make that decision.
That's hard, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's a little tricky.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those, your path forward is really simple. Just like diet and exercise, man. That's how you lose weight. Like, well, thanks, dude, right? So if you and I were just like having a drink, eating chips and queso, my next question would be, so you already know what you're going to do, so what are you going to do?
Oh, still,
you know. What are you going to do?
I mean, I really want kids, but I struggle. I'm also, faith-based, so I struggle with divorce and leaving my wife behind. So I struggle with that a lot.
Has she left you behind?
A little bit in this decision, yeah, she has.
This isn't a little decision. This is an identity shapeshifter decision.
Yeah.
And she's allowed to change her mind. And you're allowed to be put in a really awkward situation, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So what are you going to do?
Well, I've talked to a lot of people. I've gotten several advice from several people.
Okay, hold on. So we're in an age now where it feels like the greatest antidote to anxiety is more data, more information. I'm going to have one more cup of coffee. I'm going to make one more call. I'm going to have one more meeting. What are you going to do, John?
I don't know. I think that's where I'm at, crutch, because I love her so much. But I want kids. So I'm going to grieve one thing or the other.
That's
so
right.
Whether if I grieve her or I grieve a kid, there's going to be something that I'm going to grieve.
Right. Can you stay in relationship with this woman and not resent her?
I think I won't resent her because
I'm telling you right now, John, you're going to have to work real, real hard. Every time you go to the grocery store and there's 2 kids in a stroller and one's being goofy and one's being silly, you're going to have to exhale.
Yeah.
Because that could be
it's
you.
Hard.
Right?
It's hard. I've been dealing with that for the past year or so.
Every time you drive by a Little League game, you're going to have to exhale.
Yeah.
Because that's what y'all agreed on, and then things changed.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, no, that's definitely what we agreed on, and then things changed.
Can you do that?
It's a challenge. I've been trying to do it for the past year because I found out about a year ago that kids were off the table. And so I've been trying to do that. And candidly, our relationship, it's hard to put a significant amount of work into the relationship knowing this. But I'm trying to put that to the side and put a lot of effort into the relationship, even though this is, a portion of, something that we're dealing with.
So this is one of those issues that I can't quantify it. I don't have any scientific studies. Few things weigh in an identity sense, like, are we going to have kids or not? So this is not like, hey, I want to live in a condo in the city and hey, I want to live on 2 acres in the country. This isn't that. This is core. Okay? Yeah. So I don't want you to minimize this. I want you to let this overwhelm you with the grief that it is. It's huge. Big. Right?
Yeah, it definitely is. And the one question I still say there's hope to potentially having one, and there's still that big shadow of having a kid, but I still, I don't know. I don't want to create hope where there's no hope.
It sounds like
on having a
she
kid
was
because-
really kind to you in her clarity.
Not really. I don't feel like it was a dual decision.
Okay.
So, and I've tried to get empathy from her the past month or two about, grieving a child, and it typically ends up talking about separation and divorce. She doesn't want me not to have kids, and she's willing to separate. It's just
okay. So hold on. I was getting there, and then I got sidetracked. What's really underneath this?
I mean, the talks of separation and divorce are definitely right there. There's no doubt.
I know,
I mean,
but my guess is these
issues.
conversations were going on before she dropped this on you. Is this her?
Yeah,
is this her out?
Yeah. I don't know.
Yes, you do, John. Yes, you do. Is this her out?
I mean, it could be. I mean, it could be her out. She could put it on. Hey, I don't want to have kids, and I'm ready to give up on the relationship because there's things in our relationship that we both struggle with on 100%.
Like what? Like what?
So we've been going to therapy almost every week for about a year.
Okay.
To deal with stuff, and she feels that she doesn't feel wanted in our relationship, which is pretty big.
Okay.
And so that's one of the reasons why she says she doesn't want to have kids, and also she just doesn't want to have kids because she also has other issues. She deals with depression and anxiety.
Okay.
So those are big things that she deals with.
Why doesn't she feel like you value her?
Because there's probably some times where I don't show that in her, and that's what I've been trying to get back to, that to show her that I do value her. I don't know if it's too little, too late. I'm not sure.
Here's what I'm hearing from you, or here's what I'm not hearing from you. And I want you to, when you listen back to this, know I'm an old an old college professor, okay? And so when someone would come in and be like, this is the right way to do fill in the blank, my job as a college professor was to hit the other side of that scale, okay? So I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm just trying to push buttons and see where you land. And here's what I have not heard. I haven't heard a guy who, in a counseling session, when his wife bares her soul and says, I don't feel like you want me, and I'm not bringing a kid into this, that you don't take a knee and hold her hand and say, I'm ready to storm the gates of hell for you. I'm going to fight for this. I'm going to change everything. I'm going to change my clothes, my job, my life, because you are my partner in this deal. I hear a guy going, well, I'm going to work on it. I'm going to call a guy, and we're going to go get some beers, and we're going to figure it out. That's what I hear.
Mm-hmm.
And for a woman who's struggling with anxiety, you just heard the last call. It's connection, it's safety, and it's autonomy, control. Yeah, well, I'm thinking about it. I'm gonna work on it, and I will fight for you. I need you to explain. I need you to write down your needs. How can I touch you? How can I welcome you? How can I help around the house? How can I love you? And it's not sexy, and it's not, Titanic, and there's no music that's going to swell. But this is you helping coach me how I can love you, and I am all in.
Mm-hmm.
You talk like that, and more importantly, you act, you back it up, you change your actions there. Now you're talking about an entirely different household. You're talking about a wife who can breathe, a wife who feels anchored into something safe, not something that's like, I don't know, man, let's go lift the truck. Something that is in rock, right?
Yeah.
And here's my expectation, that she does the same thing for you. That she looks at you and says, John, I am all in. You write down your needs, and I'm gonna storm hell to try to make these needs happen for you, because I want you to feel loved too, and you deserve that also.
Okay.
It sounds like y'all may have one of those marriage counselors where there's a lot of talking, a lot of dancing, and there's no taking sides, and there's no let's get to some solutions here.
That's what we struggle with. We actually kind of took a little bit of a pause.
Good. Go find a
on
different
that.
one. Go find a different counselor and walk in the door and say, we're at a crossroads here. We're talking divorce. We're talking separation. My wife doesn't feel loved, and I don't have the tools to show her how much she means to me. And I wanted to have kids. We talked about it, and she has said she don't want to bring kids into this relationship and into her mental health challenges. And we need help. We need actionable help. Go challenge a therapist with that. And there are some extraordinary therapists who will rise up and meet that challenge. But you got to be that clear, okay?
Okay.
Here's how we end this today. I want you to know probably this isn't about kids. It might be. 10 years from now, if you choose to stay in this marriage and you're like, wow, I really thought we were having kids, she's going to point back and be like, I was pretty super clear. But the more you and I talk, the more maybe she wasn't. Right? And so the call's less about kids. The call's about a marriage that's not falling apart. It's slowly leaking out the bottom of the drain.
Yeah.
Right? And it's slowly run out of oxygen. And so you're getting lightheaded and you're finding yourself gulping for air and you're wondering what happened. I don't believe in too late. I believe at any point, two grown adults can look at each other and say, I'm going back all in. I believe that with all my heart. I've seen it happen. But somebody has to go first. And so it starts with you. So today looks like this. When she gets home from wherever she's at today, you say, I'm sorry. I'm fighting for this. I'm fighting for you. I love you. And we're going to figure out how I'm going to commit the rest of my life to meeting your needs in any way I possibly can. Are you in with me? And here's what she might say, brother. She might say no. And you got to take that risk. Because the other end of that equation is she might say yes. She might say yes. And then in 2 years, after y'all have got 2 years of practicing each other's needs and meeting each other's needs and what love looks like and what connection looks like and what marriage looks like and what sex and intimacy looks like and all those things, you're starting to practice those things and you're back in it. Then you can call my show and say, hey, I want you to listen to John Jr. here. Or you may call back and say, hey, I went all in on my wife, and at the end of the day, I really wanted kids. But don't make either of those decisions without at least going all in. Go all in.